Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. Dorothy, would you call roll, please?
Bob Waller,
Here.
Don Barnett,
Here.
Garrett Harmon,
Here.
Doyle Malone,
Here.
Bill Morgan,
Here.
Rustin Zuber,
Here.
Bonnie White. Here. Thank you.
Okay, number one on the agenda, Visitor Citizens Forum. Any person with business not scheduled on the agenda is encouraged to briefly speak their ideas to the commission. Please fill out a speaker request form and give it to the commission secretary prior to the meeting. The number of speakers will be limited to the first 10 speakers. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. No formal action can be taken on these items as the Open Meetings Act requires formal action items to be posted to an agenda no later than 72 hours before the meeting. If formal action is required, the items will be placed on an agenda for a future meeting. Number two, consent agenda. All items listed below in the consent agenda are considered routine or ministerial in nature and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of items unless a commissioner or citizen so requests, in which the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. 2A is the approval of the minutes from the January 21st, 2016 meeting.
Mr. Waller, there was an amendment made after we submitted the agenda packet and sent to all of you. So prior to the meeting, Dorothy handed out the amended minutes showing that the motion was not made by Mr. Watterson, who's no longer on the commission, but rather than the other chairperson. So we just want you to be aware of that change. And in your motion, if you want to approve it, you need to approve it with the amendments made.
Okay, thank you, Trent. Okay, everybody has a copy of the amended minutes. If you reviewed these and you understand the change that was made, I'll accept the motion.
I move that we approve the minutes and the amended version of those minutes for the January 21st meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Same sign. Passes 5-0. Okay, number 3 on the agenda is of public hearings and action. 3A, public hearing and action. Replat. Trent, would you?
Right, before I start, we do have two members of the Planning and Zoning Commission who have requested to recuse themselves, and we received their forms, and we'd just like them to exit the chambers and have them leave. And then if you just want to make mention of the members that have left. And those two members were Rustin Zuber and Garrett Harmon, who just recused themselves for the following item. All right, the following item is item 3A, the public hearing and action of the replat for the Plant House 2, located at 604 and 612 Jefferson Street. This is the current image of this is an aerial image of the proposed. You can see that vacant property that's just northwest of the existing Walgreens. Right now, the Plant House currently stores some plants there, but they're replatting this all into one lot. Showing a closer up image and showing the surrounding area that we mailed the notices to all property owners within 200 feet. We mailed out 22 notices to all property owners within 200 feet. We didn't receive any notices back or any comments regarding this property. We did have some questions about it, but they were just curious of what was going on. And I just explained that they were making all these lots into one, and everyone seemed that they were in favor of this change, and they didn't have any issues with it. The applicant, Vocal Engineering, the submitted replat, they are meeting all requirements per state code and per local subdivision ordinance. Staff does recommend approval, and we recommend that you hold the required public hearing and make a motion to either approve, deny, or postpone this.
What's their intention on this property?
The intention, from what heard, and from the plans that we have received, the plant house that's located right across the street on Jefferson Street is relocating to this site. It sounds like they want a bigger operation to be able to put a larger greenhouse. The development site plan they've submitted to the city, and that has been approved now. It looks like it's going to be a great addition to this area. I have actually talked to the owners to the rear of this property who developed the rails, and they seem like they were in support of it as well. I really haven't heard any opposition to this case at all for the development site plan, for the replat, and really,
So they're gonna relocate plant house.
I believe that they're going to just relocate the
On that
main
side of the
operations to this location.
It's a better location.
This property has been, there used to be a residential structure that was removed, it seems, years ago. This has been vacated for some time, and it's always better to have something going on a piece of property than just having it being vacated, and this will be a great addition to
Are they
it.
gonna run into a parking problem on that property?
It's in the central business district.
Yeah.
Any new construction will require parking. Their development site plan, it shows that they are meeting all parking requirements. And it does go through a process which staff did not have any concerns with the proposed parking that they requested.
Okay.
Are they going to continue with where they are too? Is that gonna be part of their parking?
You would need, no, the parking's all going to be on site. They fit everything on site for parking.
What are they
This is going to act as its own individual operation from what I understand, but that's a better question for the owner or the representatives, which would be either Vocal Land Surveying, sorry, I think I said engineering before, or Garrett Harmon or Rustin Zuber, who's out in the hall, and they can come in and answer questions if you would like.
So they're gonna terminate the use of the other property?
I don't have an answer
Okay.
for you. You need to ask one of the representatives.
Do we need to go ahead and open a public hearing?
Yes, sir. It's required by state law.
Okay, I'll open the public hearing on 3A on today's agenda. It's 4:37. Anybody wanting to make comments to this commission, please approach the podium, state your name and address, please.
Yeah, please.
Garrett Harmon with Harmon Taylor Architects, 701 Lee Street. Yeah, they're gonna be moving their entire facility over onto this new property. It'll include a new building, about 5,000 square feet, include a new greenhouse, and considerably more parking, and even probably 30% more than what is required by the city. So we'll have plenty of parking. There was a requirement because of the size of the building and its location to have a fire lane put in around the building, so that's what that easement is noted on there is for the fire lane.
Are they gonna terminate use of the other property?
As far as I know, yes.
Any other questions? Garrett?
No.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak at this public hearing at this time? Seeing none, I'll close this public hearing at 4:40 and pass it to the commission. Any questions from the commissioners?
Is a fire lane required in this property because of code, or is it?
During the VRC, it was because of code. They needed a fire lane access because they're also going to be having, from what I understand, gates around the entire property. Fire department needed some sort of access to the property, and so there was an easement put in place.
I mean, because you've got access to that property almost all the way around.
I believe they didn't meet the hose length was
Oh.
also the issue,
Okay.
which is part of the fire code.
Any other questions? If not, I'll accept the motion.
I move it be approved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Same sign. Vote was 4-0 positive. Okay, next agenda item is 3B, public hearing and action on a zoning request.
I'm just gonna wait for the other two members to come back in.
To come back.
There's about a 2-second delay between us and the TVs,
Oh,
so
well.
they probably just heard the motion right now. So.
Okay, we're back to a full quorum here today.
All right. The next item on the agenda is item 3B, which is located at 1001 Jefferson Street North. They're requesting a zoning change from a planned development district 10-22 to RT Residential Transition District. Staff mailed out 26 notices to all property owners within 200 feet. Staff did receive 1 in favor and 0 in opposition. Staff also received a couple of phone calls as well as a couple of visits to our office concerning this requested zone change, and it sounded everyone was in favor of the zone change and the intentions of the project. According to the applicant and the representative, the main purpose of the zone change, going back to its original zoning designation, which was RT prior to 2010, is to bring this is to allow for a single-family residential dwelling. They want to be able to bring it back to its historic nature. The current house does have a historic landmark, so it does need to meet all historic all national and Texas state law requirements for historic designations. And they feel bringing it back to the RT zoning district will allow them to do this much easier without having to try to amend the planned development district. The surrounding area of the subject property is predominantly zoned RT, residential transition zone, which does allow for single family residential. Right across the street there is a church just to the north of the subject property, and another church/school to the west of the subject property. And then predominantly is surrounded by other small businesses and single-family residential homes. Staff has found no evidence of likely adverse impacts on the neighboring lands in relation to the zoning change request. Surrounding properties, as I previously mentioned, are similarly zoned with a mixture of different land uses, ranging from a single-family residences to small-scale retail shops and churches. Once again, prior to 2010, this was previously zoned RT. The original planned development district they list as specific uses for this property. It was going to be used for a restaurant, retail, and the project over the years hasn't been able to maintain that. And it sounds like it's under contract. This property is under contract, and they're wanting to bring it back to single-family residential. However, with a planned development district, there's no flexibility in the zoning. You're only allowed to do what you list and what's approved by council. And unfortunately, they left out single-family residential. And also, you have to submit a site plan. In 2010, you had to submit a site plan with the planned development district. That's very specific. Any changes to the site plan, generally, if it is any kind of enlargement of a structure, would require you to once again go before city council. That's including any accessory residential structures such as sheds. And so this will just give them that flexibility to restore this home and be able to kind of redevelop it for this single family purpose. Both the existing and requested base zoning districts are appropriate and suitable with the surrounding area. The proposed zoning district is consistent with the surrounding area due to the existing RT zoning district. The proposed zoning district will continue to encourage development and revitalize the area. As you saw in previous images, it's a beautiful structure. You can imagine what it was back in the day. There's beautiful structures around it. It's an area that's really striving to revitalize, and unfortunately, over time, this structure has some deterioration that definitely needs some help. Staff does recommend approval of the zoning change request. We do not feel that will impact the area by any means, especially due to the previous zoning district was RT, and we don't feel there will be any traffic mitigation. we do, once again, recommend you hold the required public hearing and make a motion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll open a public hearing at 4:45. Anyone wishing to talk before the commission, please make your way to the podium. State your name and address, please.
My name is Rob Irvin. I live at 2128 Bluff Ridge here in Kerrville. I'm the broker owner of Realty Executives here in Kerrville. We have this property listed. We have found a buyer for it, and the buyer that we have found, he and his wife are so excited about this building and getting into it and restoring it. They love the historic nature of it, and they can hardly wait to get their hands on it and do the work. They have, over the years, redone a few homes and have done a really good job, and this one is just, it screams for someone to give it some love, and they want to love on it really much, and turn it into a home, for their family, and so they're very excited about the project. And by taking this back to RT zoning, it allows them to do this and live there, which is something that they really want to do.
This zoning facilitates for them the opportunity to move in a faster way.
Absolutely.
That's what it does.
Yeah, it is a much less cumbersome way, because the stuff that's on the PDD, they don't want to do any of that.
Sure.
I mean, that,
That's beyond.
huge development on that tract of land, and the only thing they want to do is fix up the house and live there and clean up the property and make it look pretty, and, and that,
God bless them.
that property's screaming for it.
Yes, it is.
All right, we can hear it from here.
Oh, yeah. All you gotta do is look at those pictures, and who's going to help you?
Oh, I drove by there. I haven't been by there in a while.
It,
It looks worse than it did last time I went by.
it needs some love.
Now, my only question is, are we still going to be able to get banana pudding there?
Only if you become friends with them. You might be able to talk them into it.
Okay, anybody else that would like to talk before this public hearing? Seeing nobody, we'll close the public hearing at 4:48. Any questions from the commissioners?
No.
When the zoning changes to RT, is the planned development district then just dissolved, or is there any opportunity for that to come back at some later date?
No, sir. Once it's like any other zoning change. Once they do change the zoning, the PDD, the planned development district is dissolved. If they do want to go back to a planned development district, they would need to go through the same public hearing process.
Okay.
Okay, hearing no other questions, I'll accept the motion.
Also move.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Same sign. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Okay, Trent, I guess number 4 is consideration and action.
Oh, right. We don't have any items under consideration and action today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Staff reports.
Yes, we do have one item. I handed out before the meeting. I believe I gave one to each of you as the agenda for next week's training, Planning and Zoning Commission training, because there will be a quorum there. We're required to post it. Instead of mailing this out, we decided we'd hand this to you personally. We will also email a copy of this to you. We're planning this training to go approximately 1 hour. But yeah, it should be fun. Lots of thrills. No, it's going to be a great opportunity. I mean, with the different boards and commissions, it's always a great opportunity to go back, especially with new members who haven't had a chance to be on the commission, or who have not received training, just to learn the 101 of zoning and the requirements of the Planning and Zoning Commission. There are lots of responsibilities that Planning and Zoning Commissioner has. And so this will be the opportunity that staff has to be able to train you and share this information with you and make you more knowledgeable.
Okay, thank you.
Excited for the opportunity.
If there's no other questions, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.